Okay, let's do this. Today. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, hello there. Patrick is here in the studio. He's a good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. This is Belonging Songs, which you are listening to now.
Keep going.
I was trying to do like Yoda something. I
don't know. Wade just starts staring at us like we know what the hell kind of order he's going in.
Ladies and gentlemen,
now.
You've entered the Wade Dana experimental stage.
Yeah, we're going to do...
This is like be a gatefold LP coming.
Let's do the intro backwards this time.
So welcome to Belonging Songs, listeners. I am your host, Wade Dana. With me in the studio, the aforementioned Patrick Crane. And Bradley Maurer. This is Belonging Songs. It's the podcast that brings you a new original song with each iteration.
Sounds right.
Then we talk about the theme of that song and the processes that went in writing and recording it. Sometimes the revisions. This is going good. Sometimes the revisions we make along the way. We just ate a bunch of hot dogs. This is our first day back in studio together after the very long pandemic. Patrick,
what brings us here today?
Hot dogs.
And after that, second hot dog.
Yeah, I did have two. By the way, this is an ingredient song. Ingredient song alert.
Wheel of
I'll take ingredients.
I don't know.
It's
not going to work. It's not going to test
syllables. Last syllables. Yeah.
I'm trailblazing. Yeah, so we're going to try this again. We had great success with it last season. Yep. Both of the ingredient songs that we did turned out to be...
The third one is, well, it started.
We actually are going to work on where we got Patrick's ingredient song going.
Patrick has
based
lyrics.
on chemistry, and we're also rolling that into his phone demo riff song, so they're going to be rolled
Two
in.
patties, club bun, special sauce.
Right on.
Is the board allowing him to draw tonight as well?
I guess that's up to him if we want to wait.
Because I have an incomplete in the class?
Yeah, you got an incomplete.
No, I won't draw. I won't draw till I'm
You
ready.
can draw.
No.
Well, what we're going to do on this is
I hear what you're... I'm reading between the lines.
You should draw
till I'm ready.
No, I just wanted to
I will
make sure
draw
the
for
board
you
was
guys.
okay with it.
The Borg?
The board of directors.
Victor Borga, that dude who does the piano shit.
No, I was thinking resistance is futile.
I know what you were thinking.
We might have to start over.
Let's start.
You bored?
Yeah. We're going to do this a little differently. Last season, we did the ingredient song drawings in another episode. And this season, we're going to do one of them right now. And then there'll be another episode for either my or Brad's. I don't know. We'll probably flip to see who does this one. And if you are unfamiliar with what the heck we're talking about, an ingredient song is something we came up with last season where we take elements that you could build a song around and we put them into different bowls. We have different themes that you could draw and different special items. So we've got a bunch of those in little bowls here. We're going to draw out the ingredients, and then based on those criteria, we have to put a song together. And yeah, last season we got two of what most people consider our best songs.
What was your song, Wade?
My song was Trailblazin'.
My song of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad's was...
I Got Great Love for You.
Pretty good song, not my song of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Also on most everybody's top 5 list. That one
was top
in.
5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to start off here pulling some ingredients for Brad's song. Brad, we do need to flip something, though, because we got a couple of...
You want to use the thing
Let's
again?
do the...
We can use the thing.
No, let's do the guitar pick.
Let's just try it.
Wait, do you even... We don't even know what we're doing yet.
I just wanted to see how it flips.
Okay, it works. So,
He's yelling at me.
our first thing we're going to flip for is the tempo. So we got two options here. That's why we're doing a flip. So we've got over 130 BPM
It's fast.
or under 110.
Not my tempo.
So we've cut out the
the 120.
120 area, which is
That's my tempo.
usually a default.
That's everyone's tempo. It's the tempo of the masses.
My heart beats 120.
So we're gonna go top here.
That's too fast, bud. That's way too fast.
Yeah, it is. It's very fast. My resting heartbeat is not 120.
Maybe if we didn't eat two hot dogs.
Yeah, mine's going a little faster right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this top with the script here, that's going to be 130 and above. Blank, that will be 110 and below. Should I just let it drop or what?
Yeah, just let it on.
Do it a
detail.
drop?
Yep.
Brad's tempo, 110 below.
I can
Minus
slow it
110.
down. I can do a 75. All you got to do really is,
Play the same song, only slower.
yeah, you just do 120 and half, right? So you do 60 and you just double time. It's pretty fucking easy.
That's why you're the boss.
Yeah, that's how he gets the boss
It's
cut.
just a math game.
All right, so we're going to do the tone, the overall feel of the song. Is this going to be a happy or a sad song? Positive, optimistic? Will be script, sad, negative, pessimistic, dark, blank.
Got it.
Blank. Ready?
I'm excited.
Blank, blank. Whoa,
Oh, and we lost
watch
an
out.
eye.
Oh, shit. Got a little crazy on the flip.
I need my safety glasses.
We've lost it. There. Oh, is that it?
Where'd it go?
Right there.
Oh, it's blank.
Sad song.
It's blank.
Blank, blank,
Yep.
blank, blank,
All right.
blank,
All right,
blank,
that's
blank.
sad. You're sad, slow
I can deal with that.
tempo.
Well,
that
fits.
goes hand in hand.
Everything fits.
Yep.
Coming
Yep,
up roses
yep,
so
that's
far.
Yep.
All right, now we're getting into the fun stuff. We're going to do the drawings.
Drawings. My name is Simon. I love
Yes,
to do drawings.
drawings. So what's that one?
Yeah, cheeky monkey.
Special criteria.
Well, let's do that first.
Okay.
Brad's special criteria. Now, what we've got going here, he could draw out having to use an electronic drum kit. He could get the
Which is
option.
what we do every week. By
no,
the way.
but I think it
No,
more means electronic drums.
Yeah, like not
right?
not the
Like an 808 or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
clear rule. Okay.
like not a real drum kit simulation. No guitar allowed.
Ooh.
So you'd have to construct the song using other means like synthesizers and things. Write and record the main part of the song on a piano.
Mm.
Must feature flute,
Mm.
suggested by Shanna.
She knows I do love the fife.
Oh, I don't know about this next one. Use the shitty see-through microphone, which I have a bunch of that were like
Those are
$1
like, yeah,
each.
they're like red and
Yeah.
you can see the guts.
Use
Give
one
it
of
a shot.
those on
That's
a
how you
major
know they're good.
element.
Yeah.
They wouldn't show you the guts if they weren't good.
No, exactly. Like the old phones.
Yeah.
The clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when Zach Morris calls.
Yeah. All right, let's
So,
pick one.
all right. So here we go. We're shaking them up. Brad, don't look in there. What you got there?
No guitar allowed.
All right.
Yeah. Flute.
We're throwing them back in, right?
I don't know. Should we or should we not
Let's do it.
make the call?
Yeah, throw them back in.
Oops,
Okay.
sorry. All right.
We only have so many ideas on this
That's
show.
true. We didn't have very many going on here. All right, themes. So we got. Now, did you get this new
No,
ones
he
from
didn't add the
Patrick?
new ones.
No.
Oh, shit.
We could throw one in. We could throw them in right here. Patrick, late editions
Field hockey.
of field hockey.
And soap operas.
Okay. All right. So there's rules I have to learn.
Yeah, I can't help
Yeah, I
you.
have to learn a game.
Yeah.
My mom played field hockey, so I can call her
Co-author.
up.
Co-writer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could just write a song about my mom's field hockey days, and call
Hockey days.
Good old days. I knew a girl who was my baby.
Played hockey
in
back
high
in high school. It's easy.
I'm
It's
sure
already
the
written.
listeners
Yeah, it's
appreciate that. So, our other themes: robots, suggested by
Okay.
Kate, a friend of ours. Dirt, which I initially had as a bonus item, special instrument, but then I was like, I wouldn't really want to bring dirt in here to record. So I'm
Posthumanism
gonna
in
make
case David Burns free.
posthumanism, time travel, which theme of the show here. Chores,
Chores? Like
Magic.
chorin?
You skipped over
Chores.
magic.
magic, sorry, garage sale,
Nice.
Modern technology. I don't even remember. I had some drinks
Did
last
you really?
night. I don't
Okay.
remember a couple of those being on the list.
Just because you can
Just
doesn't
because you
mean
can.
you should.
Oh,
Are those separate themes or one theme?
They're
not in there,
together,
Dan.
but I wrote it in. It's in there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get soap operas?
No.
Oh, so you stopped
I did,
it?
I got
no,
it in there.
that one.
I'm talking to Brad.
No, that one.
It
that
wasn't
one
on
was,
the other sheet.
That one was the only one that was written on the other sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You
So-
wrote on the
Okay, Brad.
the
Okay.
master
That's
sheet.
sorry.
Yeah, because I am a master.
Okay,
no,
Brad.
well, you failed at writing it on the correct sheet.
Damn.
Here
Should
you
have wrote
go.
it on the cut sheet.
Brad's theme.
Going in. Come on, field hockey.
I mean, I don't even know where to start on that.
Time travel.
Brad gets time travel. He's got a no guitar time travel
Well, that means theremin
Sad.
only.
song under 110 beats per minute.
We could probably build
now-
a theremin in your
So
gay
it's more like-
garage.
Now we're going to pick Brad's special item that he has to use somehow in the song. He has to choose from plastic bag,
Mhm.
a chair,
Have it.
a rock,
Got it.
an ink pen,
2
a light bulb,
But none of those coily bulbs, those Obama bulbs.
LED bulbs.
Yeah.
a book,
Okay, I got it.
A
or
crux
an
can.
LA Crux can,
Oh, I got
or equivalent.
I got a can.
A can.
Okay.
Basically.
It's a can.
All right.
All right,
Here we go. Last one.
going in.
Bonus item.
Crux can
All right.
or equivalent.
Crux can. So that's it. Brad, you have to
do
write
that.
a song
I can make that happen.
that is under 110 beats per minute. It's sad in its tone, features no guitar, is about time travel in some way, and your special instrument or item is a Crux can.
Or
That's right.
equivalent.
LA Crux
Bubbly.
can or equivalent. That
Buble.
could be the Bud Light can that you got from getting
From the
vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be Coca-Cola Classic.
Mm-hmm. Crystal clear Pepsi. Did that come in a can? That'd
Yeah.
kind of defeat the purpose,
I
wouldn't
don't
it?
know.
If you can find one,
I don't know. That's,
Yeah.
that's an interesting question.
if you can find one, you can use it.
Crystal clear can Pepsi.
Yeah.
All right. Aluminium can.
You know, a can of milk.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it. Brad's going to construct us a song from those criteria. And the next time we come back after this jump to the future, we'll listen to it. So we'll see you after this. Set course.
To the future!
Whoa.
Whoa. We're fucking recording, dude. We're recording.
Whoa.
I don't know what happened.
Spooky.
Spooky. Okay, welcome back, BSers, to this episode about Brad's ingredient song that we're going to listen to. And we're going to listen to this sad time traveling banger.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I wrote a song about field hockey.
Yeah, so this is the second ingredient song of this season.
Yeah.
Mixing up a batch.
Man.
Yeah. Brad, what do you got to say about this song? I know you were stuck
Explain
on
yourself.
it for a bit.
I struggled with it. You know, it took me out of my comfort zone. I'm used to writing things not on guitar. I've done that before.
So Brad's special criteria was no guitar. And I've looked at the session of this, and there's a couple muitars.
Yeah, this is not a guitar. There's a zootar, a muitar.
So maybe let's talk about
They
the
sound like
challenges.
He-Man characters.
Yeah, there's some things that I tried to sneak by Wade real quick.
Sitar.
It's the only one I
Zartan.
couldn't use, but every other thing.
So yeah, you had to construct this song differently than you normally would
Yeah, and
because
so
of that.
I wrote it on a keyboard, electric piano, and I did some things around that, and I played the melody on a different tone of electric keyboard. And then I started singing to it, and I sort of got the theme together and how I wanted to do the song. It's a very simple song. It doesn't necessarily have a chorus. There's no ride. it was intended to be like a straight build, which I can explain after.
Okay.
But it was difficult, and it really didn't come together for me until I fell onto my crutch and I started actually playing the guitar to it. And so, so Wade,
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So, Wade did not encourage me, but he did say, sometimes you got to break the rules. I broke the rules.
Yeah.
And I think,
sometimes meaning always.
Yeah. But I think where he's going to take it is to a good place because it's going to stem from the idea of the guitar and hopefully turn into.
So I have heard this.
Yes.
Because Brad sent it to me because he was stuck on it. And before I could do anything to it, he went ahead. He finally got there and was like, I finished it.
Yeah.
So that's good. So I haven't had my grubby hands on it yet.
I'm going to open a little Crux can real quick. I forgot to do that.
What flavor you guys drinking over there?
Oh, do you want me to put that into your song?
Yeah, maybe you should.
Special criteria.
I didn't do that.
Is the can, which you said is not in it yet. So we do have audio now for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Also, I'm lazy.
All coming together. Okay, so Brad, this doesn't have a name either yet, right?
It doesn't have a name, so
also no
I'll work
lyrics.
on
Sorry,
that.
Patrick.
Yeah, I apologize. I tried.
What am I going to be listening to? Just Brad opening the LaCroix can?
No, there's
Did
words,
you hear it?
but we didn't type the lyrics for you to read. So
Oh, okay.
They're pretty easy to comprehend, I think, if you.
I am kind of a dummy.
I disagree.
BSers, we're going to try to get Brad to type lyrics more often now. Mm-hmm. I'll cut that out.
Yeah. I know, it's riveting.
All right.
So far, this episode's going to chart.
Yeah, it's riveting. Man, how they rib each other about not writing lyrics.
Hopefully,
is real.
whatever we recorded when we drew out the ingredients was good.
Yeah, that's
But
that's
I
a lot
kind of
of
remember
energy coming
it being the end of the night and then editing it and being
been a
like,
mess.
wow, we sound really tired. So for mine, I think I added extra stuff in bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably
I'm glad
have to do here.
we're recording this at the end of the night,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
This is
At the end of
It'll
a long
bookend well.
of a long work day. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
full energy.
Well, let's listen to this thing because this song is also full
At least,
of energy.
yeah, at least this song's a real pumper upper.
Okay, here we go.
If I were to say that I needed more, would you spit in my face and tell me I'm just bored? Would you be surprised by this genius guy doing all of the things never thought you'd adore? Darling, if your patience ever fades, we can go to another place, another time, far away from here, and see how we'd live if we'd ignore the whispers in our ears, shaping our lives. And if we die trying to stay alive, we've wasted nothing. I've always assumed I'll go to heaven, so it's the least of my concern. And if I knew any better, I would think it through, but nothing will always miss you. The sense that she made with my imagination.
Well done, matey.
Brad, right when you walked in, I had said, hey, I downloaded that. You had used a specific
Code Red,
plugin,
yeah.
the Code Red, which you talked about before. And I noticed that it was on your session as I went to bounce it down. And I didn't have it, so I went and downloaded it. And I was
So that was
like,
the first
oh,
time you listened to it with it on.
with it. Yeah,
Got
and it makes a huge difference. I was worried it was going to destroy all my shit because I downloaded it from the internet recommended by you.
Yeah.
But that makes a big difference on the build of the song. I get what you're saying now, how it's just one build all the way
Yeah.
towards this culmination. I would like to figure out a way to make it even bigger
At the end.
sounding
Yeah.
as it builds. We'll talk about technical stuff and whatever, but
Yeah. What I was going for there is if you follow along with the lyrics a little bit, it's sort of about, I mean, I could tell you exactly what it's about. To be honest, it's ridiculous.
let's see.
You wanna wait
Patrick,
for
do you have
that?
any,
Yeah, what do you
let's
think
see if we
about
have
it,
any thoughts on
Patrick?
that.
I didn't listen to the lyrics closely enough. I
Intently,
was more
yeah.
focused on the lyrics or on the music. Yeah, so I've got a lot of notes on the music. The lyrical meaning I couldn't take a stab at right now because I just wasn't paying attention.
What did you think of the song as a whole?
Oh, is that what we're supposed to talk about? So, like I said, well done. Totally effective in creating the feel of a build. I also like how it steps off at the end as well. So you reach this crescendo and then it comes back down and just sort of resonates out. I really like that structure. The couplets of the bass and the open hi-hats, the kick drum and the open hi-hats, I really like. I'd like to see the closed hi-hat ride vary a little bit instead of just
Matching.
whatever those are, 16th notes. I think it needs just a little bit of variation in a pattern, but it gets a little overwhelming. But you also need, I think, a droning kind of rhythm. So I wouldn't say lose it completely. And definitely I want to keep those couplets in because I think those are really interesting and almost echo like a heartbeat or a gunshot or something like that.
The intent was the sort of anxiety of a heartbeat, right? Like
Yep.
the build of a, like a stutter, and then
Yeah.
it's back to normal, and then it stutters, and then it's back to normal.
I
The,
assume that has something to do with the theme of the song.
Yeah, for sure.
The electric piano at the beginning, when that second piano comes in, I love that.
I do too.
I really love that. So don't lose that at all. That's one of the most successful elements of the song, I think, as far as composition goes. And then the muted guitar, decide if you want to totally cheat and leave the palm muted guitar in, or if you want to try to achieve that with maybe some other key instrument.
I think that's where could be potentially headed. And this is another one where I told Wade, I said, hey, just do what you want to do when you get to the mix phase. And he threw some ideas at me, and that could
have 'em
potentially
here.
be one, that he can speak better to. But I had the first verse written, and everything else was just the same, right? The main keyboard part does not change or vary at all. I had the little melody, the part in there, and I just kind of spaced that out intermittently. But until I put that little palm muted guitar that comes in, it really made it come together for me where I was like, oh, this doesn't need a chorus. It's just going to build and sort of explode and go away. And then I think I texted Wade. I was like, I got it done pretty quick once I figured out what I was going to do.
After me bugging him about it for
like a long
month.
time. And I think I spent like a half hour, 40 minutes, and I was like, I got it. Like, it's good.
I hope I don't insult you, but this reminds me a lot of The Disguise as far as the build, the lack of chorus, the kind of palm muted.
Yeah, that's
Wonky
something.
elements.
That's something that we did that
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think that's an insult at all.
I love where this song is going. It is divergent from what you've been writing this season,
Which is the
It's
point.
Still your sound. It's a whole new vibe that I'm getting from you. I think this is the start of a top 10 Brad song.
Oh,
I really do.
shit.
Let's go back to theme. I've listened to this a couple times, and I'm confident that I don't know exactly what it's
No.
about. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. To me, it's about someone either having a conversation with themselves or with somebody else about the choices they've made. Like, am I doing the right thing? What would it be like if I could go back and change it, type of thing. But I don't know if I'm on the right track with that.
This is good. Brad's gonna reveal that it's about ordering wrong at a restaurant.
No, it's real similar to that. But it basically thematically the influence was I defaulted to my favorite time travel movie of all time, which is Back to the Future. Okay. So basically, I created a story in my head as if
So you had mentioned you were writing.
Yeah, I did.
You already kind of let the cat out of the
did.
bag, but we thought you were joking.
Yeah, it's real. So basically, it's Doc and Clara Clayton, right? And I was like, all right, what kind of song would be if he was on the train and she stayed behind and he kept going? And then all of a sudden the train just shot into the future, right?
And the song really does
that's what it
have
does.
that feeling at the end.
Right.
Which is, I was really interested to hear Patrick say that he liked it when it came back down and went quiet again and did the piano stuff, because Patrick's a big advocate for songs ending abruptly. And if any song is a candidate for that,
this one.
It's this one.
Yeah, but I like that because in my mind, the scene in my head,
It's almost like a leaf or piece of paper floating down.
yeah, or
after
a
the
shot,
thing shots
or
out.
it's a quiet shot back to her.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. Or you get that image of like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, and so I wanted to take that thought and that process and create really vague lyrics that I've also since then associated other things with and sort of did that same sort of, am I making the right decision? Or if I take a risk, do you agree? There's a lot of other sort of connotations that I applied to each
that's
line
what I
as I
got
wrote
out of
it.
it.
Yeah.
That's very similar to how I wrote Finale, basing it off of this, like,
Hairbrain just,
for me, it was
Movie.
the TV
Yeah,
show.
TV
and you
show.
it was the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Where anyone listening without having listened to this podcast would not know that that's what influenced it, which is cool.
I don't want somebody to hear that and then all of a sudden go,
It's about right. No,
But because I think for me, even
no,
like
that's
as
just
that was the catapult,
just
like
the
the springboard,
right,
and I was like, this is a concept that I can go behind, and then I did sort of personalize it as I went along.
and we're
and
talking about it here because this is a podcast
what we have
about
to
how
do.
we write the songs,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, you wouldn't want anybody to be like, "Oh yeah, that song about."
It's talking about Doc and Clara Clayton. I'm like,
Yeah.
not really. Like it is, but it's not. Like,
I want to unpack that a little bit because that's a issue that comes up with a lot of artists and conversely a lot of fans of music is, should an artist tell their fans what songs are about, right?
I don't think they necessarily need to or should in some cases.
Right, exactly. And I think that's how I feel, because you could even tell me as an artist, this is what this song is about, but then you're going to apply your own experiences, your own emotion, where you're at when you listen to that. And this is a really good example of that. And so is Finale, of let an idea influence you, but then I think it turns into something that it didn't start as, right?
Right.
absolutely, yeah. Especially things that aren't extremely literal. The only thing I wanted to be literal in this was a calm start and a chaotic finish.
Yeah,
right?
that whole
Like,
movie
just-
idea is just the impetus for like the story that's going
Yeah.
to take place in your head. and, like,
Exactly.
how you
Right.
can tell that. It could be about any
Also-
two characters or
I
Or
want
any
to talk about how
relationship.
that movie is woefully underappreciated in the trilogy.
Oh.
Oh,
Number three?
Three? Absolutely.
oh, right, good talk.
I mean, no details to back it up or support it, but I do agree.
Yeah, it needs no support. It's my opinion, and thus it's true.
I don't think it beats two, but I didn't think anything could come close to two, and then I saw three.
I think I've probably said this like I do everything on this podcast. I probably said it 40 times. I think Back to the Future is as close to a perfect movie as you can make. 2 is great also. 1's my favorite. I will never turn it off no matter where I start in the movie. If I stumble across it on TV, I'm finishing.
Yep. Thought that was a cool place to start when I was
Yeah, I
coming
like
up
that.
with
That's
this.
cool.
Because I really didn't have any, short of Uncle Dave and Chucker's, time travel experience
You're right.
to play from.
But
so
you did get left in the past.
I
for a
did get
while.
left in the past. Yeah.
Did
you're
you
right.
did you
But
pay
this
Uncle
was
Dave back?
pre-song. Yeah. Nah.
Is that
wasn't
why you
even that
snuck
much
in the
money.
back door
What he
today?
didn't. What he didn't tell you is he owes me money.
Oh, he was human?
Yeah, so we're even.
I did hear that right before you got to Wade's house today. He left just in a huff. He didn't even want to see
Yeah,
you.
he doesn't want to admit that we're even.
Yeah, I think
Even
he's also
Steven.
upset that you found your way back to the present.
Yeah, and yeah. Claims I had to borrow gas money and I needed 3 banana peels.
Had to borrow money from Rufus.
Yeah. But anyway, I ended up really stuck on this song.
Mm-hmm. I think the no guitar thing got in your head.
It did.
And I'd like to talk about that now.
Okay. I ended up enjoying this song, though.
Because I think a lot of the guitars you put in here could easily be other things.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one that you said really got you going, that little plucky thing could easily be like an arpeggiated sequence.
Yep.
Or even just acoustic piano there.
Yeah. So I have some ideas about that. The one guitar that I think doesn't mesh for me is the one where you're just playing the one note.
The unison
The bendy
bend?
note. Yeah. That one takes me out of it a little bit. I think that one's almost unnecessary. I love the little dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Those are really great little frills in the background. You do that with a piano at one point and the guitar. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But even that, like the guitar ones could easily be a distorted synth or electric piano. I don't know how into taking some of those guitars out and replacing them with things like that
I'm not opposed to hearing it.
I know we do these ingredients and it's fun and it's a thing to just get us to write something
Stuff
that we
to have a
wouldn't
song,
normally
that
do.
we like.
And this did push you to write this song. And Patrick even had said this sounds different, which is the goal of these. But yeah, if you get to a certain point, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And for you, the guitar helped you get this. But I think we could pull some of that back and it would be even more different and interesting, building on those ideas that you had with the guitar.
Yeah.
It'd be very easy to replace some of those with different elements that aren't guitar, and just to give the whole song a different feel, I think would be really cool.
I agree.
This song, I can't believe I'm about ready to say this. This will become a meme. You know, the M83 song with the saxophone in it, how it's sort of like a distorted, what's that song called? Midnight, is it Midnight City? I'm totally drawing a blank. Anyway, this song could probably use a horn somewhere and be really effective.
Also, when we were little, M80s were like the height of the coolest explosive
Those
you
were
could
the
think
things.
of, right?
Did they actually
And
exist?
cherry bombs. I don't know.
Because it was always like, you can't get real M80s. That's a quarter stick of dynamite.
Right. And somebody knew somebody they knew who put one in a toilet at school and blew it up.
Chuckers always talks about Ray. And Ray's in jail, so we don't hear about him a lot on the show.
Ray and his M80s. Okay, back to this. Another idea that I had upon my first listen to this was the bass guitar would be really cool as an acoustic piano, low notes.
I agree with
Oh,
that.
I like that.
I do agree with that. I'm struggling to hear it without the unison bends just because it's funny that you say that it's unnecessary just because for me that one is one of the ones that adds to the anxiety because it doesn't change. It makes you a little bit irritated.
I honestly
I kind of go for that.
I didn't care for that.
Yeah, see, I liked that about it to where I was like, it's
But maybe I was in the headspace of like, oh, that's like the most Brad guitar
yeah,
that
maybe
there could be.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
put it in the middle of the song that he's not supposed to have guitar
That's
on.
true. Yeah, well, it's actually a muitar. So
Right.
yeah.
Song is called Midnight City, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the
Is it-
record show. This will
Good.
all be cut out, but
Is it Midnight City by Midnight City, like Big Country by Big Country?
from the album Big Country.
Okay.
Patrick, did you have any thoughts on that guitar
On the
part?
unison bends?
Yeah.
The only thought I had is, and I think we've already addressed it, for this being a no guitar thing, there's a lot of guitar. So how do you create that atmosphere with other instruments? And like we said, Brad, if you want to leave in the guitar, you know, this was a jumping off point, but I think it would be fun as a listener. I don't know how much about it from the composer's perspective. It would be fun for you to challenge yourself to try to create that same atmosphere with some different instrumentation. But if you get stuck, I think it fits. It does what you want it to. It builds attention.
I would like to play with it a little bit. It's not set in stone for me. Worst case, we get 2 songs out of one kind of thing. Or
You could probably do that too if you want a stringed instrument, like with it'd be interesting to do like a cello.
I think I'm going to play along with that a little bit more and just see.
A cello would actually fit pretty good, like a droning.
Yeah, the reason they're a guitar is because it's it's
That's
the
what
quick.
you have.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the quickest way to get brain to sound, right? So like,
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick the guitar up, and I can get what I want out of that as far as what it sounds like. I never did take the time to go backwards from there until I,
You were
showed
gonna
it to
make
you.
me do it, right?
No, I want to do it. I want to do it, but I just wanted to get it to you
Yeah.
as fast as possible.
The only other things I would love to hear another wild element going on. I know you got that unison bed, but I
like
almost
another-
like something crazy, like wiggling through.
Just
like if it were
for
like
the
a
build.
crazy vocal in response, or like almost really affected tails and delays and things sweeping around from
Just
your
some
own
activity
vocals.
back there.
Yeah, to really build
Yeah, some
that and get
phased
kind of
stuff.
crazy. Yeah.
What do you think about actually leaving that code red? The way.
Let's talk about what you did there. So you're talking about an audio plugin that you put on the master bus of the song, and it's basically it adds harmonics to the song like a distortion saturator.
Yeah.
And what you did was ramp up its influence on the song as the song went, right? So
Correct.
at the end, it's starting to get more saturated and distorted sounding, which I think is really cool. And like I said, when I first listened to this, it didn't have that on there because I didn't have that here. And the song doesn't have that energy.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really cool
It works.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's something we'll want to keep for sure.
I got that idea from there's a Slater Kinney song that does it, and I hate it on that song. Modern World, Modern Girl. And they do that, but it's like this good song, and then all of a sudden it gets squished at the end. I'm like, I can't stand this. But then for this song, it's like, oh, this would be a good application of that. And then that's why I did a deep dive to try to figure out like how to do it. So I challenged myself to figure out. So I tried it with a couple different things first, and then that Code Red one actually worked. So
Yeah. So I really like that.
It's a good Mountain Dew.
Jesus.
Also think some jazzier drums might be cool,
Yeah.
or even real drums. Like if we could get real
Yeah,
drums, I think that
would
might
be
be
the
pretty
best.
cool on this.
This song would
Little
be
brushes.
far
Yeah.
better with real drums.
That's what I have. Real drums question mark, or change to like a jazz kit,
Yeah.
like brushes or
Yeah.
something I heard. But I think there's a lot of options for this. Like Patrick said, it's really cool. It's kind of a different idea. I like that you approached it differently than you like not verse chorus. Verse chorus is just this one build thing, and it fits the theme. And I think you have all sorts of options now as far as playing around with the elements that you have now that it's written. Like if you did want to pull some of those back and change them with different sounds, it's all there. You just got to figure out what works better. And I would love to help too. I mean, if you
But
do
yeah,
want help
absolutely.
with that.
I'll do. I'll take it as far as I can take it.
Because I do have a lot of instruments,
Better
synths
instruments
and
and
stuff
things,
here
yeah.
that we could play
So-
with, and I could bounce, sounds back. What about this one? What about this one? Until we land on something.
So I'll play around with it a little bit and see what I can swap. I will look at the drums a little bit because I didn't spend a lot of time on them. It was really, honestly, I think just a click drag.
I really like Patrick's cello idea.
Yeah, me too.
And I would love to hear the acoustic
I like
piano
the strings
replacing the
idea.
bass idea. And maybe morphing into like an electric bass where everything at the end is getting
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
That's the
heavy.
really interesting idea. That could be fascinating to listen to is instruments morphing.
even into the like some of those go into the guitar.
Yeah,
as it,
ooh, that's a
and,
good idea.
So you
That is
best
a good
of both
idea.
worlds type of thing. But
As it gets, as the
at this point,
train-
we had the ingredients, but at this point, we want the best version of the
the
song.
song,
And if guitars is going to do it, that's what we want to do. But I just like that you had to step back and create the song a little differently than you would,
absolutely.
which is always. a
And
fun
again, all I
exercise.
had for the longest time was those chords and the little melody thing and 2 lines.
What were the
I-
two that you had first?
If I were to say that I needed more, would you spit in my face and tell me I'm just bored? Right?
And
so-
then I'm going back in time.
yeah.
I want to get back in time.
Right. That's it. Did you know that Huey Lewis's 3rd album, Sports, simply titled Sports, had 4 number 1 singles on it?
All right. Jumped movies. Okay, so I think we're in a good spot. We're going to do our best to finish this up in the next week and a half, 2 weeks we got here.
No pressure.
Nope.
Did you know
And,
Huey Lewis's first name, Hugh E, is short for D.H. Hughley?
I did not.
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, let's get on this train. blast off to the
Ow.
future.
Set course. To the future!
Potentially could be called this, huh? Nah?
Yeah.
Let me know
sure.
what you think. Let me know what you think when you listen to it.
I think it's a little generic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The title?
Yeah.
You tell me when you listen to it again, and
Okay.
we'll talk after.
I
Offline.
hate being judgy, Brad. I love you, buddy.
This is the judge.
I'm sorry.
Talk
You were
to
so
me,
nice
Goose.
to Wade today. I just
I
need
was.
to be nice
I
to
was.
you.
I was trying to be nice to Wade today.
Welcome back, BSers. We are here to talk about Brad's ingredient song. No title yet. So, gonna try and figure that out. It's been, what, 2
Like
weeks?
2 years.
No, this was a pretty quick turnaround here.
As far
Since
as
we talked
from
about
the
this
last
last-
time we talked about. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Unusually quick.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I gotta stop this recording because that reminds me of something. We'll be right back. I wish I would have recorded all that.
We're gonna go. It's gonna be organic. It's gonna be completely organic.
No BTS here.
No, nothing. Nothing to see here.
All
No
right.
pre-planning.
We're back. So what just happened there is after we left this episode, Brad spent some time, did revisions, sent them to me, and then I mixed the song.
Yeah.
But I want us to listen to Brad's revisions before we listen to the mix because I have a lot to say about the revisions. Brad has a lot to say about them. Patrick hasn't heard them. And for the listeners to be able to follow the arc of this song, I think it's really important. So I know from editing the first part of this episode that we listened to the song, talked for a really long time. So we haven't listened to anything in a while. So now we're going to listen to Brad's revisions. Brad, you look like you want to say
I want
something.
one disclaimer thrown in.
Okay.
So this song, when I gave it to you, mixed as the listeners are going to hear right now, it was not exactly how I intended for the song to be in its final stage.
You didn't happen to tell me that when you gave it to me to mix.
It did. We were playing tennis, and I said I turned everything
Okay.
up
Okay.
that I want you to hear. Right? So everything that's in it is what I wanted you to hear, and I took everything you already heard out.
Okay.
So I was trying to do 2 versions of the song, knowing that you would probably blend them together.
I might have turned some things back on.
You
and
did,
bounced this down.
you
So-
did. I'm not going to talk about the final version at this time.
Okay, right.
We're going to talk about this one, and that's my goal was to create the song differently, and then let you.
Patrick, you following?
What am I supposed to do?
Let him.
I'm just going to sit here. You guys talk. Whatever comes in my headphones.
That's it.
I will
Right.
listen.
It's over.
It's coming at you, Brad.
Final version.
Brad's
right here.
revisions after we talked.
No, this isn't. This isn't the
No, it's
final
not.
mixed version.
It's not.
Trying to fuck you up.
Not at all.
3/4 version.
Yes, here we go. Here we go.
If I were to say that I needed more, would you spit in my face and tell me I'm just bored? Would you be surprised by this genius guy doing all of the things never thought you'd adore? Darling, if your patience ever fades, we can go to another place, another time, far away from here. See how we'd live if we'd ignore the whispers in our ear, shaping our lives. daylight. We've wasted nothing. I've always assumed I'll go to heaven, so it's the least of my concern. If I knew any better, I would think it through, but nothing will hold me back, even consequences. I've made my mind up, now I'm asking you if we're on the same track, or have you disconnected? I hope you know I will always miss you. The sense that you made of my imagination.
All right, what the heck are we doing?
You talk about the revision.
You guys seem to have this figured out.
Patrick is straight up pissed now.
I don't know what I'm listening. No, I'm not pissed.
What'd you think of that?
I'm just confused. I like it. I have some thoughts on what I don't like about it.
Yes.
Overall, I still think this song is amazing. Like the
Come on, tell him the stuff you don't like.
Yeah,
Wade will do an incredible job mixing it. You know what he has the ability to do is to really take a song and paste his vision on it. And I think you need that vision.
We check the calendar. Is it Blow Wade Day?
Yeah.
Is that what it
Because this song is puke. So while I'm thinking about it, shout out to my mother,
Yeah.
who gave us the most brutally honest review on this show that I wish I had recorded for the listeners. We may ask her to recreate it
Yeah, a
someday.
t-shirt.
But she called me up at home. This is me dodging the question, by the way, when I think about this
You
song.
need more time to think.
So she calls me, and actually I wasn't even at home. I was at work, like having a stressful day. And she goes, "Hey, just got done listening to the most recent episode. Where do you guys find these songs?" And my mom, for the listeners out there, has been listening to this show since the beginning of this season.
Live.
Live. Off the floor. And I
Thank
said,
you.
Mom, we write them. Like, it's what we talk about for the show. It's the idea for the show. And she said, well, no wonder they're all puke.
And for the record, it was one of Brad's songs that brought that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
And then she followed up that question with, what am I supposed to be getting out of this show? And I said,
Well, that's up to you.
That's all up to you.
I would also like to say thank you for listening. Thank
Yeah,
you for the
right.
feedback. We appreciate everyone's feedback. If you want to leave us feedback,
Yeah.
go to bs@belongingsongs.com.
I will
send
get
it
my
our
mom
way.
a shirt.
Heck yeah.
And
We have to have her on
we'll
the
have
show.
This Is Puke stickers made by the end of the week, I'm sure.
Yep, I was actually racking my brain on. Oh, I need one more sticker to complete our second sticker pack,
done.
and it's just
it's
created
over.
itself.
Organic.
I was gonna do a Brad bot, but that would require me drawing and creating the Brad bot.
Brad bought the most successful gimmick on this show
Complete waste of time.
But
That instead of
But the puke
this
one is
is
better.
puke.
yeah. All right.
All right. The couple things that I thought were most notable. There's a little bit of distortion on the kick drum, particularly in the beginning. Is that intentional?
You know what happened is I changed the kit. So I think probably when I changed the kit, it probably changed a little bit of the punch.
You know
on
what?
it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I think that's a sound that should carry
I
through.
thought we were just supposed to do the bad stuff.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
You have two pieces of good, and then you let them down.
Okay.
Brad, you've got a nice smile.
Thank
now,
you.
the things I don't like. I actually don't like the low vocals in the second part of the song that start around, I think it's If I Knew Any Better. The ooze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about those.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a fan.
What I was doing there, again, part going back to my disclaimer before this, is Wade had mentioned previously that he didn't like that unison bend guitar, right? So I was like, well, what can I do that doesn't involve a guitar that brings something of that element in? And so I did that, and there's actually a subtle keyboard behind it, but that's the main part, actually, believe it or not, that I was talking about, where I was like, I wouldn't have them that loud if I was mixing the song to present it naturally. So go ahead, Wade.
Wait, it's not Wade's turn. I'm not done dressing you down, son.
Yes, Wade.
Okay.
No.
So here's what I really like about what's happened to this song is I think it's the best example for Brad during the entirety of this show of taking the feedback and applying it into the song and trying everything
seeing what works.
and seeing if it works. Because we had mentioned exactly like you said, how about trying to think of other ways to do these instead of the guitar? And you did.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't land, but you tried it. And there's a bunch of different things in this version that you did. Like you added the real bass or the piano bass.
The piano bass.
Yeah. And I think that was super effective. So I really
Absolutely.
liked how you approached this. Like you really implemented a lot of that feedback into this version of the song.
I did. Yeah. And that was the goal for me, was to try to just take myself out of a lot of it because I was so stuck on it. Right. So that immediately removes me from it, because I was like, okay, whatever the suggestions were better than what I could do.
Yeah.
And this song ended up, Wade, like, I mean, I probably had 30 tracks maybe without drum tracks. There was a lot of tracks on here, maybe 20 total, but there was a lot of tracks on here. I just kept throwing spaghetti, right?
Yeah, and it's effective spaghetti. So we talk about less is more on this show a lot. And so while there's a lot of tracks, they're all doing, don't know why I'm waving my hands frantically, over here. There's a lot of very simple.
And now I picture him in a cowboy.
Over here. There's so many tracks doing a simple thing like in their corner, and they just come together gradually. And it's my favorite part about this song is you could take all of those as individual elements, and they're all like these interesting staccato pieces, and then they all form together to make something melodic. And it's really effective. So it's almost like you're at a switchboard and you can just kind of plug and play. What works together here? Oh, the electric keyboard,
right?
Piano bass.
That's a good way of presenting it, because that's exactly what I was trying to do, is just go, here's all these things that you can plug in to come up with the best combinations.
It's like you wrote an analog MIDI track.
And to your point, Wade, it was about me taking myself out of it and just going, let me just put a bunch of stuff in here.
I was straight up impressed that of all the things you did, and like how mindful you were about approaching this.
Yeah, this was an exercise.
Yeah, it was. And it wasn't to make your life harder, which is what we joke about sometimes, but it was to give you a bigger palette.
And now, Patrick, what you had just said, the switchboarding thing. So once I got this, this had all this stuff in it. So then it became my job to start turning those off in certain spots or turning them back on.
Pulling the levers.
Yeah. This song, at the end of the day, is actually truly a collaboration of the three of us, I would say. That's a really cool thing, because it's not something that I let myself do early on in the show, right?
Yeah.
So I still have a lot to say about this, but I think now, before we talk about turning all those things on and off, which is basically arranging. That's when we talk about arranging in this podcast. That's when I get a hold of the song and I start to arrange all the things that I've been given, all these elements Brad has. I'll start taking things out or even moving them around in some spots, muting things in certain spots, bringing them in and out. Even if there's a track going throughout the whole song, which you do a lot, oftentimes I'll arrange it, which means, I will cut it out of certain spots and bring it back in.
Could
so
you swing your arms a little more wild?
Yeah.
Please? Cool.
Can I get a cowboy hat over here? Dave! He's got a whole collection.
He does.
I imagine Dave
I
has
think he's out
like
in
the
the
Richard
garage.
Petty hats with the feathers and
giant.
yeah,
It's nice out, so him and Chucker's been doing fires a lot.
and fireworks.
Yeah, well, that's...
Well, they got a good deal after the
Given.
4th of July.
yeah. Yeah. In another month or so, they'll be hitting up Halloween spirit
here's the thing.
hard.
Well, here's the thing that I think is kind of sad, and I yelled at him a little bit. Like today, they were heading down to Louisiana because they thought in the flood they can get the best deal on fireworks because some of them might be wet.
Right.
They have a jar of pennies that they actually brought down to Louisiana to go buy fireworks. I think it's tasteless.
It works for them.
All right. So we're going to listen to the mix of this now, and we will continue talking about it. I'm excited for Patrick to hear this. Brad has heard it, and lots of things to say.
I'm actually really excited to hear this too. Don't tell Brad.
I will not.
It's no longer my song.
Well, yeah, because I bought the copyright.
That's right.
If I were to say that I needed more, would you spit in my face and tell me I'm just bored? Would you be surprised by this genius guy doing all of the things never thought you'd adore? Darling, if your patience ever fades, we can go to another place, another time, far away from here, and see how we'd live if we'd ignore the whispers in our ear, shaping our lives. And if we die trying to stay alive, we've wasted nothing. I've always assumed I'll go to heaven, so it's the least of my concern. And if I knew any better, I would think it through, but nothing will hold me back, even consequences. I've made my mind up, now I'm asking you if we're on the same track, or have you disconnected? I hope you know I will always miss you. The sense that you made of my imagination.
Patrick.
Oh, that outro. Well, that's different. I wasn't sure what I was going to think of that, actually. It lost a lot of its starkness, but has become this much more polished thing. I'm digesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep digesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really digesting. I like it. I just am surprised how different the vibe changed from that production.
Yeah. Yeah. I texted Wade after he sent it to me, and he's like, song's ready, give it a listen. And I gave it a listen, and after, Wade will tell you, I never do this.
Yeah.
After one listen, I was like, it's done.
Yeah.
I got an emphatic,
it's
nice
over.
job.
Like, and I got a very nice, like, he made the song sound how I wanted it to sound. With he did things I couldn't do to make it sound how I wanted it to sound, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I really love how it turned out. I like the pieces that you pulled back in, The main one for me being that little triplet guitar.
Yeah.
Which is like the dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
which
I really like that.
it was an experiment. Like I tried it and I was like, I don't like it, and I muted. I gave it to you muted, you know. And so I really like how that came back. And then the same thing with the.
Yep, you had those muted.
I had
too.
that muted because things weren't blending the way I had them together.
That gives me a literal sense of like a heart skipping.
Yeah,
Like
and then
skipping a
that
beat.
combines with the kick drum on the last
Yep.
line where it's like pop 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 pop, and that's really what I was going for. I just couldn't like.
Yeah.
Well,
I couldn't
you had
organize
mentioned
it.
that with that unison bend that's what you were going for.
Yeah.
And I felt that this was a more effective way to do that. I
Absolutely.
didn't care for the unison bend, and then you tried to do those background vocals, which I also didn't care for.
Me neither.
And those keyboard stabs, dun, dun, dun,
Yep.
those are the last thing I brought in. And I brought them in just during that part.
They
like
go away.
Sections.
Yeah.
They fade in, they go away. They
Yep.
fade in. So the waveform looks like an actual like wave. Like,
Yeah.
because they fade in and then they're gone. Then they fade in and they give you that nervous energy. And I really wanted this song to do what you intended, which was to do this build and then be gone. And I really feel like at the end, you kind of get this swirling sense of like this character standing in
Oh,
this
absolutely.
place, and like there's lightning starting, and
Yeah.
then they're about to jump.
That's the image.
Away.
Yeah.
The-
and then it's
for
gone.
for sure.
the
yeah.
the reverb and the delay and whatever else you put on the imagination on the end, that seals the deal.
So that's a very intentional thing I did
Yeah.
to make it sound like the character's like
Yeah, like
dissolving
vanishing.
out
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is what you were trying to do with the lower ooze,
Mm-hmm.
is to incorporate some of that haunting.
I was trying
feeling.
to make it. Yeah, I was gonna say creepy. Haunting is a better word. Like it was just supposed to get eerie, right, for a minute, but it didn't click. I know it didn't click, but they were there, and I was like, well, I want Wade to know that they're there.
Yeah, you got the feeling.
So if he does something to it, right, and
emotion
it was a
driving
way of communicating.
That was actually the only element I didn't use.
Yeah, and that's good.
But I
That's
did
fine.
use your unison bends.
Yeah, I heard them.
They
They're
come in
the very
they have
end.
that 16th delay on it, so
Yep.
they go bing, 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 bing,
Yep.
bing, bing, and it really builds that end.
I really
up.
like how the strings come in, and then it's almost like the strings and then the guitar oppose each other. Like that creates a good sense of dis-ease.
Yeah.
And like shifting moods.
Because they're in like the same key, but
Yeah,
they're playing
yeah.
something different.
Yeah, because you're getting like this almost requiem string progression.
Right.
And then that just staccato looping guitar.
Yep.
It just works really
Yeah,
well.
I
Works
like
really
I
well.
like how those two came together too quite a bit. It's just like a solo violin sound,
Yep.
which leads to a little bit more of the creepy sort of, not creepy, but just eerie.
Well, it sounds synthetic too, and in this case, it's good.
yeah,
that it sounds
agree.
synthetic.
I agree. Yep.
Patrick had mentioned adding a cello, but I feel like that string element kind of
Yeah.
accomplishes
Yeah,
that.
it's unsettling because it's uncanny valley.
And
It's
what I-
close, but it's not the
And
actual
what
instrument.
I did with it is it came in as a singular violin, and then I took it up an octave for the
Turn it
verse,
up an octave.
for the verse after, so there was two.
Yeah.
And then I turned it up. I put another octave on top of it for the verse after, so there was three going. So
I was hoping you were going to say you turned it up another.
No,
so
what's-
it slowly climbs.
It's
right?
funny that you mentioned that because I love how that string comes in. It really does add that tension. But when I was mixing this song, I was concentrating on that end a lot to even start. I was like, well, I want this to be really big. I can go backwards, but it's hard to start mixing
Without
really
getting messy.
mellow and like,
Yeah.
I want to get this part. So like you had mentioned, the strings were like full stereo at that point.
Yeah.
When I went backwards, I'm listening and I'm like, that
Dying.
string is, where's that string? It's
Yeah.
like only in the left ear.
Yeah.
So I had to balance that out with that synth that you're using, that plucky one,
Yeah.
which comes in then on the right to
Yep.
balance that out. And that was that tension you're talking about, those two going against
Fighting
each
at
other.
each other, yeah.
And then later, those guitars that you said you had cut out, I brought in slowly. I did a lot of fade in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when your bass, you added the piano bass, which is awesome.
Yeah,
to
like
the
an
song.
electric piano.
But
Yep.
at the end, you still have the eighth note regular
the
guitar bass.
bass. Yep.
And when that starts fading in, I started fading in those other guitars.
Yeah.
Very slowly, you don't start to hear them. There's this little window, and you hear those din, 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 din,
Yeah.
din, 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 din,
Yeah.
and then it really builds.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was just using these little elements to help push this along.
That's what I
slowly.
really liked about it. It was sort of like a lead in, which I wasn't using it as, right? I was
Yeah.
using it instead of that other part,
Right.
which is the pulsy.
Yep.
I swapped it out and I did it with a keyboard, and the way you used it was much better just because it brings in that slow sort of slower climb rather than just boom, here it is. You don't notice it, but you don't have to notice it. You can feel it.
Can we talk about the production on that electric piano a little bit? I don't know what it is, but as soon as that comes in, I get 360 degree of sound.
I would
from that piano.
I would like to talk about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know what you did there.
I don't either. Did you get the same thing? It
yeah,
just like
well,
fills my head.
And you can feel the fingers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like
it's-
it's really weird how it sounds almost like it's a wind.
Turned up the magic.
Well, no, it's but it's like a wind instrument,
Yeah.
right? Where you can like sometimes when somebody's playing a horn, you can hear the pressing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that on that
So-
keyboard. So
It's a tremolo effect on the reverb, I believe.
okay,
So that gives you that little pulsing.
that pulsing feel.
But
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It
It's
was
good.
the most.
It's a really good sounding piano to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
It did. It just sounded like it was in the room. It
I'm
was
not
crazy.
sure who makes it, but it's the Electric 200.
Electric 200 piano by Waves. Not a sponsor.
I used a lot of the XLN audio. Shit, I forgot the name of the plugin now. But I'll have to insert here.
RC20 Retro Color.
But it's like one of their only plugins that you
Ha-
can do a bunch of crazy effects. And
Yeah.
I use that a lot on here.
This one's like a straight electric piano. It's got the standard dialings and stuff, but you
Yeah.
put effects on it, obviously.
So as I started mixing this, I said I'd concentrated on the end, but to start the mix, this is what I do with almost every song. It's like, okay, let's find the basic version of this song, the main elements that create this. And in this song, it was the drums, that piano, and your vocals.
yeah,
This song works 100% with just those
three, yeah.
elements.
I think it's definitely a big drum driven. I really love the beat on it.
Yep.
And I think it was your suggestion, Patrick, how you mentioned it was sort of very just too much repetitive. It was a very simple fix just by adding more of that rhythm through
Yeah.
each measure, which just added to the tension when it wasn't there,
Yeah.
which I thought worked really well for this song. So kudos on that.
If it was good, I probably didn't recommend it.
It does mean that the drums to me are like an ultimate part of the song.
Yeah, it's a rhythm song.
Yeah.
It's-
That drums, the bass piano, your vocals, and then that little lead piano too.
Yeah.
It's like that's the tracks that make this song. You can strip everything else away, and the song still works. So that's
Yeah.
what I started with. You had 2 drum kits on here, so
Yeah.
Hey, Brad. This is a track 1, bud.
Holy
This is
shit.
This
Oh, we
is
did it.
This is you drop the
We did
needle,
it. It's built in.
and this is track 1.
Well, wait, yeah.
That's an easy track 1.
and then the rest of the
Finally.
story takes place from wherever this character
So
goes.
we go
that
from
point.
1 to 5
It's a good.
on the album.
No, seriously though, I would love to drop a needle on vinyl, and this is the lead off track.
Yeah,
It just sets you in a mood.
that's cool.
Yeah, drums. You had 2 kits,
Yeah.
so a lot to wrangle there. And that electric kit had
The
some
bass
serious. We talk about flexi tracks and addictive drums, and that's basically a trigger, and it's triggering like a very low frequency
Yeah.
808 boom.
Yeah,
So-
it had that. That's what really got it.
In your rough mix, you had the 2 kits, and you had one panned all the way to the right
Mm-hmm.
and one to the left. That recorded them all down and started listening to what we have here. And I did something I've never done before, in that I only used one of the overheads, and then I used the opposite room kit. And it gave this really eerie sense because you've got the overhead. And when I say overhead in the drum kit, that means it's like the cymbals, and it kind of picks up the whole kit.
Yeah,
You're hearing kind of everything, and
top
then you can bring
sound.
in the kick drum and the snare, and they have their own signals to reinforce that. So I've got the one electronic drum kit, and I'm using the overhead track for that. And then I got rid of, you have an acoustic drum kit also. I got rid of the overhead for that,
just use.
and
the
I'm
reverb.
using just the room.
Yeah,
So all the organic cymbals are just like a room microphone of the second kit, and it almost gives it like this ghostly feel.
but it made like the cymbals and everything sound so much better on that.
Yeah, the
which
cymbals
was-
sound great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it was a really interesting experiment. And then I got rid of the acoustic hi-hat too.
Yeah,
So that's also only coming through the room. So you got this main kit element, but in the back there's like this pole, almost like the song, like pulling you
Yeah.
somewhere else. And it kind of fits the theme. And
I like
and
it.
it gave that eerie feeling when that was, at first I was like, oh, 2 kits, it's a lot. I've done it a couple times. It's
Yeah.
always a lot. So I ended up having like 3 different kick tracks to deal with, 3 different snares, because one of them had the flexi thing, and then there's like the effects track and everything. But
a whole bunch of shit to do.
I think that turned out really cool.
It really did. The drums ultimately sound good, and I like the fact that it's not one in each ear.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do with 2 drum kits, but I really liked them both.
I'm gonna find out the name of that plugin.
You know,
'cause
so
it's-
that was really a cool blend.
the RC20 is the plugin that I used a lot on this. That's
Got
the XLN, and
It's the highest fidelity available.
Yeah, it's-
so you can hear the almost vinyl noise come in at the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
Which maybe sparked that thought in you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's from that. Also used that effect on the vocal disintegrating at the end as a setting on that plugin. Big element of the first listen was the red console
Yeah.
emulation. And I found out that when that is plugged into a session, it makes Pro Tools do a really loud click through my speakers,
Oh, really?
which I don't like. I
No.
don't know how often I'll use it. I used that on the drum overhead. So you had it on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even when I turned that all the way down, it was still really affecting everything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ramp something up, but I couldn't do it with that because it really drastically affected the whole mix.
whole thing,
Even
yeah.
when it was turned off.
Yeah.
So I wanted to still use it because it was a big part of your song. So I used it on the drum overhead, or the whole drum signal, actually, the drum bus.
Mm-hmm.
And I ramped that up during the end of that song to just give it more energy
Yeah.
and like grit.
Yeah.
So I did end up using
Starts
that.
breaking still.
I didn't think it needed on the whole
No.
mix at
And
that
that
point.
was, again, that was to convey an idea, right? And just try to get it like, hey, I just kind of want this thing to build and fall apart a little bit. Right? So
Another fun note is this is a song about time travel.
mhm.
We're always jumping to the future.
Boom.
I took some of the audio from our To the Future drop and put it in the end of your song there. So it's in there. And if I go back and we listen and I point it out, you can hear it in there a little bit.
I like it.
Because
I
I thought
like
it was
it.
really fitting. So that's the only thing I added. But just to give a little more, and I had to stretch it out because during that drop, I'm like, To the Future. And like
Yeah.
there's, I didn't want any of that in there, but
Yeah.
I took it and I audio stretched it, which kind of mangles it a little.
Yeah.
And it just kind of fit that big build. And I cut it off right when the song cuts off. That cuts off
That's
there too.
sweet.
Other mixed notes. I had to do some EQ matching on your vocals. It looks like you maybe did half of them one day and half of them the next day.
Probably, yeah. Remember?
Yeah. Color me surprised.
Well, no, I told you I didn't have them. Remember? I was like, oh, I just have to finish the last 2
Okay.
lines. And why would I record the whole song, Wade? That's
But
dumb.
something changed in that the second
Yeah.
half of the song, there was way more high end on your
weird.
vocals. So
It's
I
weird
had
to
to
me.
do automated EQs
Sorry about that.
to turn on and off as the song went to kind of match them.
Yeah.
So it didn't sound weird.
I
And
think that
another
was a success. I didn't pick
Yeah,
up
I
any
didn't
difference.
notice it at all. Like, so yeah, good. Thank you.
And another thing I did that I haven't done on this mix was I put delay on your vocals, but only on the reverb of your vocals. So it's
That's
not
cool.
your actual
Just
vocal
on the
signal,
reverb
just on
track,
the
the
reverb.
send, yeah.
Yep. So that has delay on it.
Yeah.
And if you listen,
Which is cool because it's a subtle delay,
yeah,
which is good.
but it's different too because
Yeah.
it's not the actual vocal signal.
Yeah.
It's in the background that's doing the delay,
yeah,
which was a
it's just
cool
a swirl.
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Those are all my mix notes, I think. Oh yeah, let's talk about your can. You had to-
I did get all. I think I got everything in.
Yep.
Except there was a slight violation because some guitars made it into the final cut. But the can, I was stuck on how to use the can for the longest time. So I had a LaCroix can. I was banging it with
What
a pen.
you do is you do this. You put the top in here. You get a needle.
Yeah,
You
poke it.
poke it and you poke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was hitting it right.
Yeah.
Like this. I was singing it, oh, like that. I was doing all kinds of things to it. I couldn't figure out what the fuck to do
some
with this
rocks in it.
goddamn
Sponsor.
can, right? So yeah, I didn't think about putting things in it and making
Okay.
it a shaker. So all I did at the end was I just took it and I twisted it,
Yep.
right? And it was
Well,
I
that
just
one's
did
ruined.
it. I did it real
Yeah,
slow. You have a
that's
recycling.
10 cents,
You have a
bud.
recycling bin.
Okay.
And then I would just do this.
That sounds great.
And so that's sorry about the audio. So that's the sound, but it's at the very end, and
Yeah.
it adds to that breaking
Yeah.
So
sound.
and then if you notice when the song drops out, there is
reverb
all that
from it.
residue.
Yeah, or delay.
And that's delay on that can crackling kind of away, kind of like the signal of this person dissipating.
Yeah.
And then there's also that RC20 plugin bringing in that vinyl scratch a bit back to the end.
I liked that effect just because it made it kind of do that. You know, it sounds kind of, I don't know if it's rainy at the end, you know, where it sounds kind of like you're stuck in a storm and the thing just went out from underneath you.
But it's almost the thing like Patrick was saying, like it's close to that, but it's not that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it gives you this like kind of uneasy feeling. But then the keyboards are so beautiful there at the end that you've got this dichotomy going on.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this whole song is that unease and incredibly melodic.
Yeah.
Well, there's also this story of intense and deep love in this song, and somebody's leaving.
Yeah.
And you kind of get that at the end once it
I mean,
catch that train
goes
back
away.
to Oak Valley. baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's lyrically, I was thinking about this more, just the fact of what the song's about. You know, it's inspired by that one thing, but it's really just about growing.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, it's about growing and like, are you going to grow together or are you not going to grow together?
Are you going to grow my way?
Are you going to grow my way? Are you coming with me?
So I think this song's done.
It's done.
Almost.
Uh-oh.
Because it still doesn't have a name.
Oh, well, true. So it's Ingredient Song 2021. Is that an issue for anybody? Or
I mean, everybody already knows what it's called except for us.
Yeah.
All the people in the future know because this episode has come out. We don't.
We don't know.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. We're going to name it, and then they're
figure
going
it
to find out.
Okay. So we're not going to do that now?
I don't think so. I got an idea. But what if I say something right now and it's wrong?
I don't know. We go back in time.
What if the listeners know that I'm wrong when I say the
They
title
already
right
do.
now? I think go ahead.
I just looked down at the lyric sheet and saw 3 words next to each other, and I was like, "That's my title." Through but nothing.
Through but nothing's good. I
actually really like that,
I was staring at the word disconnected.
and I told you that was lame.
Yeah, you did.
Let's just pick random sets of words off the lyrics.
Okay, least
Okay.
of my concerns could be the title.
Yeah.
By this.
By this.
Did you get the jumble?
Heaven so it's.
And see how. Okay, I might have to cut this out.
How about imagine?
Ooh, ignored the whispers is pretty good.
I'm asking you,
Is that a triple word score?
genius guy.
Autobiography.
I got it. I'm just bored.
I'm just bored.
That's what I am. We better get out of here. All right. We do have to end this episode, and we haven't done this in a while, so let's give this a whirl. Thank you for listening to this, the second and last ingredient song of this season. We've got next week the last what we're listening to coming at you of the season. We've got the week after that our first guest artist on Belonging Songs, our friend Todd, a song we are working on now and are very excited to bring that to you. And then week after that, the season comes to an end with an appearance by the White Spiders.
Back again on tour.
Hopefully, because we haven't finished that either. But
These jean jackets don't run tour.
so, yeah, another episode wrapped up. Ingredient song. Final thoughts on this. Another very successful experiment. Brad, I really love this song. This is not one I was super crazy about at the beginning, but I love how it turned out.
This is a classic case of never would have happened.
I'm not gonna back down. This is still one of my favorite Brad songs.
It never would have happened without the ingredient song process.
Yep.
And
So we're batting a thousand.
a
on
thousand
ingredient
on that.
songs.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, really, honestly.
so probably something we will do again
We'll
next
see.
year. All right. You can check out this song and all our songs on our website, belongingsongs.com. You can check out our merch there. 2 t-shirts, sticker pack, new sticker pack coming once we get that puke sticker.
They're gonna be puke.
This is puke.
And then you can send us an email, bs@belongingsongs.com. Check out our Spotify playlist if you just want to listen to the songs without us talking about them all over the place. What else? What else do we do at the end of an episode?
Leave a review.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. Clearly, the reviews on Apple Podcasts are broken.
Well, let's just hold on one goddamn minute. we got the
Yeah,
review.
we got.
Yeah, we're good.
We don't need
We can
any more
retire
reviews.
that,
We,
right.
we found the only reviewer more mean than Pitchfork.
Reviewing is over.
Yeah.
Okay. The time for reviews has closed.
Yeah, we've reached the definitive peak review is where we're at.
Songs are puke.
Yeah.
So, with that, anything I forgot, we'll say it next time. But
And Mom, give me a call. It's probably 11 o'clock at night, and you think we're doing this live.
It's important.
It's important.
thank you so much for listening. We will see you here again in our next episode.
Night, Mom.
Shoo-ba-da-boo-ba-doo.
Who could it be now?
Genius guy.
Genius guy. I like genius guy.
Back. ...
Made of my.
I hope you know.
I like through but nothing.
I was thinking through with nothing.
Oh, I like that
through
too.
nothing.
It just evokes like the we made it through this relationship.
would you
We've
go-
got nothing to show for.
Yeah,
it.
you
or
go
like
li-
I made
Yeah.
I made
Would
it
you do
through, I made
this?
it through with nothing is what I was thinking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you going Bon Iver on it.
Yeah. Bonavere.
Yeah. Maybe semicolon and some parentheses.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
We're gonna try that. I think for now. I think with the comma, I do like that because it does. It's what the song's about. He goes, the character goes through, but he's by himself,
Yeah.
right? So not
Did we just
bad.
figure it out?
I think it's done. Through but nothing. Lock it in. Take that.
Everybody already knows.
Take that there.
Yeah, they already know.
Take that part. and
They
put
know
it,
if there's
put
a
it at the
comma
other
or
part.
not.
I can't screw it up now.
No, just take that part.
This
put it at the
timeline
other
is
part.
locked.
That's good. Boom, done. Next.